Hello, it's Dr. Darnise, and welcome back into another episode. And yes, I know I've been gone for a minute. Been gone for a minute, had people to see, places to go, all like that. I'll let you in on that on another video. But what I wanted to talk to you today about is the movie Sinners. And I know, have you seen it? Are you planning to see it? I bet you're at least planning to see it. It's that film that everybody's talking about directed by Ryan Coogler and starring Michael B. Jordan. We know that they have been working together on multiple projects, and normally they are a winner. Mhm. So I have to say though, and if I give end up giving any spoilers, I'll let you know ahead of time. I don't intend to give spoilers. I hesitated. I hesitated to see this movie, and I'll tell you why. I hesitated because I'm not a fan of horror. I'm not a fan of graphic violence. And I know for some people they like horror or it just doesn't bother them that much. And for me, it really does. And like just vibrationally, it shifts my vibration way low and I don't like it. So I really hesitated and I was like, am I going to see this movie? And I thought I was going to stream it, wait until it came on streaming and then I would be able to fast forward through gruesome parts. But people kept saying to me, you really got to see it, especially as a religion scholar, you got to see it. And I was like, okay. So, I decided what won out was I definitely wanted to support the picture, number one. I wanted to see what Ryan Coogler was doing with Black culture, Black spirituality, history, music, all of that. I know the blues played a big part in the storytelling. And so it won out and it got me into the theater. And so I went to see it. And if you're like me, squeamish at all, please know that it is very violent. And those of you who are like, oh, it's not that bad, I don't know what y'all be watching because it was. You may be desensitized. But for those of us who don't regularly watch this kind of thing, it was a lot. However, I will say there's a good story. So before you get to the violent, sort of bloodbath, mhm, you do have a story. You do have great representation of Black culture, Black history, Black spirituality that makes it worth it. Um, we do have that. At least it is a strong story, and we get to see some Black actors. We get to see Black people in love. We get to see Black beautiful things. And that's what I expected to find. And, so I'm glad that I went to see it. But I will give that caveat. If anybody tells you that it's not really violent, it is extremely. And if you don't know, I mean, I don't think it's any spoiler that it is about there are vampires involved. So that's not really a spoiler. Now, of course, there's the good hoodoo in it, right? We talk about hoodoo and all that all the time on this channel. And so I was pleased to see that, and it was done well, right? So, well, first of all, Michael B. Jordan plays twins. Again, no spoiler there. And he does a great job with that. And so the love interest of one of them, Smoke and Stack, and I could never keep them straight. So there's Smoke and there's Stack, and one of them is having this great love affair with the conjure woman, with the hoodoo woman. And so we got to see a good representation of that as she, maintains her practice, and we got to hear her talk about, why it works or why it doesn't work. And, so that was really good. And I was pleased as punch to realize that the consultant they had on the piece regarding Black spirituality is a colleague of mine. Her name is Dr. Yvonne Chereau, and she is a professor at Swarthmore College. Actually, she just retired. But I will put a link to her book um, in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. But she is a renowned scholar, again, Dr. Yvonne Chereau, a renowned scholar of Black magic, Black religion in general. So I was certainly glad that what Ryan Coogler did was to reach out to, real scholars and real people who are really culturally competent, right? So when we get the presence of the Choctaw, Mississippi Band of the Choctaw Native people, we know that Ryan Coogler got authentic Choctaw people, and it makes the project better. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you? Why has Hollywood gone and gotten white actors to portray Indians, right? But we know that is the standard. That is what we know that happens all the time. Anyway, Ryan Coogler decided to do things differently in the way he made this film. So kudos to Ryan Coogler for bringing in authentic people, for getting good um, you know consultants on this project. I don't know who you get for like vampire lore, but but he did a great job. Michael B. Jordan, of course, did a great job. So I would say, what I want to say is the overall themes. Who or what are the sinners? Like, why is it called sinners? Who are the sinners? I don't know if y'all can hear that. It is storming right now, so you might hear some thunder. Who are or what are the sinners? What is the sin? Right. So we see this community. This is 1930s Mississippi, Black people living under Jim Crow, under extreme white supremacist racism, right? The Klan is amok. And so we could say, well, really, the sin is always that is an oppressive force against Black life. It is an oppressive force that contains Black life, that seeks to contain, that seeks to consume Black life. And so in my mind, I'm working with this idea of, like, what is the deal with the vampire thing, right? Because vampires consume. And so what is the sin? Who are the sinners here? Because you could say on the surface, well, you're dealing with these people who are the Black people themselves, who are juke joint people, right? Like Michael B. Jordan plays the twins who went away to the big city and got some ill-gotten money, maybe, and juxtaposed with the Black church, right? Because one of the main characters, he comes out of the church, so there's always this presence of the Black church right there, right? And then the presence of the juke joint right here, and it's only the sinners who go to the juke joint, party all night. So, but in my mind, I'm knowing that Ryan Coogler is doing more than just that. So what is the sin here? Who are really the sinners? Because it's easy to point to people who seem to live a life of ill repute, or who are criminals, or who party all night, right? It's easy to point a finger there. But what about systems of oppression, right? And so we've got the Klan sort of peripherally, we've got Jim Crow, and those things consume Black life. So I'll put that out there. Let me know in the comments what you think. Who are the sinners? What is the sin? Um, Is it a metaphor for the consumption of Black life, right? And then you get to the bloodbath part. So I won't I won't go into that much because I don't want to give spoilers. But I will say, as for me at my house, I covered my eyes through the entire blood. I keep calling it a bloodbath because it it's an attack, right? And I'm not giving spoilers because you can imagine that if there are vampires involved, there's going to be a point where there's some mixing it up, right? And so when that happened, I sat there like this, looking at the floor, waiting for it to be over. And in fact, I kept thinking, I am going to walk out of here and just hang out in the hallway or go to the bathroom or something and wait for this part to be over. Um, I almost did that, but I said, well, I've been here this long, looking at the floor. I guess I can make it. And for some of you, that won't be an issue. I know that some people have seen it more than once. People are going to see it, which is great for Ryan Coogler, for Black film in general, because it means that, the box office is doing really well. And the movie industry is reminded that Black people will support Black film and give Ryan Coogler some more money to make more projects as well. So, what else I want to say here? Um, there's the character. If you've been seeing who all is in the cast, then there's one woman who is white or appears to be white, right? And so there's some commentary in the film about racial identity. Who is really Black or Black enough? And, she describes, her lineage in the film because people kind of step to her like, what are you doing here, right? As a white woman or white passing. And so, she says, and again, I won't say. It's not really a spoiler, but I'll leave some things for you. And it brings us back to this idea of the one drop rule. Like even when someone is white passing, even if they look like Mariah Carey, um, they can still be black because in this country, America is so obsessed with race that it created the race card. Right? We're Black people are normally accused of playing the race card, but the race card was invented by people who are obsessed with race because they wanted to make sure that they were not fooled by anybody who had black blood. So even one drop meant that you were black. One drop means you're black. I don't care how light you are, right? So there's some racial identity stuff going on there. And, and as black people, I always remind us, it does not benefit us at all to check people's racial purity, right? Remember when Kamala was running and people were like, well, she's not really black. America is obsessed with race enough that if you have one drop of black blood, she had a whole black parent, right? Then you are black. And so for black people to kind of parse out, well, you're not black enough, that's the work of Nazis. That's the work of apartheid South Africa to try to tell people you are not authentic. You are not wholly this. You are not enough this. You're not. Why would we as black people do that? It doesn't benefit us, right? Because we know all skin folk ain't kinfolk anyway. So somebody could be, as black as night. That doesn't mean that they're on our side. So it also doesn't mean that if somebody is biracial or light skinned that they somehow are a problem. So we have to be more discerning than that, which is a whole other topic, and maybe assess that separately. But I just want to say, the movie does bring up this idea of racial identity. And so, anyway, I'm going to wrap up. These are my thoughts on the film Sinners. Did I like it? Yes, I appreciated the black culture. That juke joint scene was fabulous, fabulous. The way Ryan Coogler brought in so much. I'm not going to say what layered. I'll say layers of black music. And as we know, black people are the creators of the blues, and there are multiple forms of music that come from the blues. And so he was basically depicting that, and it was beautiful the way he did it. It's absolutely beautiful the way that juke joint scene played out. So there's that. Anyway, I did like it very much. I think I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. Some people are getting it, 10 out of 10. I'm like 8 because really I thought that bloodbath scene could have been shorter. Like, why do we need all of that? But that could just be me. I thought they could have developed, more of the music, right? More about the blues and the sort of lore about blues musicians. I thought they could do more of that, more juke joint, more music, right? Dancing, because that's part of a big part of Black culture as well, and less of that. So, yeah. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, which is still in my class a B. It is a B if you get a 8 out of 10 from me. All right, so let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, that's it. Bye for now.